Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to Patron. It's me, Resler, and we're back with our town. So, if you remember last time, we had set up the mine, and shown you about the whole placing the townhouse where you needed to. So I placed it closer to the mountains so we could get mining going on and everything. So nothing has changed since last time. The only thing that has changed is I built this forester over here. Um, And that was an earlier video I was making for you guys, but then my dogs got liberal and ruined all of it because they started barking, and that just drowned out anything I was saying. Um, so, anyways, here we are. We're back here, and I've also got two houses being built right there. I haven't done anything of the research here because I need uh, more gold, or I need herbs, and I don't have herbs because I don't have a herbalist. And the reason I don't have a herbalist is, yeah, okay. Yeah, so the reason I don't have a herbalist is because I don't have people to run it. I got two carriers already, as you guys know, and so I only have three workers, and so you need workers to do miscellaneous jobs like building these houses right here, um, and things like that, and gathering, and cutting down trees like this, and things like that. So I can't really task anybody to run those places. So until we get more people here at the village, I can't really do much more than where I am at right currently. What are you doing? Oh, okay. Um, and so until we get to that point, until we get more people, we're only at 11 right now. 11 adults, that is, 5 youths and 7 children. So the youths will grow up, but it is going to take some time, and it's raining in the middle of July, and it's 30 Celsius. Okay. Yeah. Um, Yeah, again, once again, this is the Twin Islands map. So there are two islands in this map. I believe we're on the northern one, if I'm not mistaken. Or yeah, there's a southern one. If we scroll down here, so you see that, and then there's the southern islands. So, um, I think the idea that the game makers have is that it's going to get to a point where you're like year 10 or something, and you're starting to head to the other island, either north or south. Um, and might think, man, you're at year 2, year 10 seems a long ways off. Year 10 doesn't seem a long ways off, but I've gotten to year 10 on my own save, and let me tell you something. Things get really fun and really crazy around year 10 because usually you look at this number and you have like 8 or 10 people here, and you have like 20 up here because you need it. And every job, not like every single one of these, but like almost every job has somebody. You have a candle maker, you have a butcher, and then your hunter is expanded up to 2 or 3, and your fisherman is expanded. You have a quarryman. Yeah, you just have, and you have farmers. Farmers are really cool. Farms are amazing, and that's why. Um, I had somebody pointed out, well, like you have this huge space here. Why aren't you using this? Because this is where the farms will go. We'll put all the because the stock is right there, and eventually, we'll research to a point where we can build a warehouse. Currently, I believe there's the warehouse, large warehouse, and we haven't researched warehouse. And warehouse, it will come, as you can see here. You get the little things. You get gathering hall and such, and then you get the immigration incentive, and then you get farming and pottery and distilleries, sheep ranch. Warehouse is where is comes after a lot of these things, and gathering hall unlocks a lot of things though too. So there are things that will have you taking time, and you know what? See, I don't want to research the clothes shop too quickly because um, we already have enough buildings that we can't handle. Also, in addition to the farms here, the toolsmith will probably be somewhere around here too. Um, I might put him up here and put the farms over here. The toolsmith is kind of the role of blacksmith. He makes tools, but he also makes other things, so to speak. So there, you can get a forge, I believe, later on that's more like weapon focused. But for now, you just want to go with it right there, the toolsmith. That's who you want to stay with. Eventually, you'll get people who are making bigger things. So yeah, you get a lot of things. The smokehouse is a great thing to have. You need to have salt works for and to preserve the meat that the butcher makes to put in the smokehouse. So there are a lot of things coming up, and yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, there's an oil mill, there's a distillery, a jewelry store, paper mill, glassworks, binder, mint, gold mine. I mean, it's just, I mean, the list of things just goes on and on, And then that doesn't count all the town buildings that are here too. So there's a watchtower, there's a well, there's a docks. A well might be a good idea to build, um, to at least prevent fires. Let's see if we can get a well somewhere built somewhere around here. Uh, I could put it over here actually. Yeah, let's build a well. A well doesn't require anybody to be working in it at it, which is a good thing. Um, but it is good to have in case there's a fire of sorts. Um, this is gonna sound like a plug for Banished, but I'm gonna just say it. In the Banished game, I remember that's what the wells were for, and I remember I never had fires for some odd reason. I was like, man, I build wells. Well, I was playing one game one time where a well was actually being built. It was placed down and it was being built, and all of a sudden one of the buildings actually did catch fire. And I remember watching my villagers run to the nearby stream or river where there was a fishing dock, and pulling water out and running back to put the fire out. So that's when So I always build wells, and I usually build more than one placed around the city, just because I'm just thinking, you know what, if there's a fire that happens, yeah, we can get resources, we can always rebuild, but it's a lot easier to put it out, and not have to rebuild an entire house. Especially if you have buildings kind of like I do close together. Um, I mean, I don't place buildings right up against them. I have one space in between them, and that's for two reasons. One, it's nice to put paths in between them at times, but the other reason that I do that is also to make sure that if there is a fire, it can't just jump from building to building so easily. Um, I can't tell you the amount of times where there has been a fire in a game, and that one building space has saved most of the buildings in the town because that house couldn't that the house that was the building that was on fire couldn't torch all the rest of the people. So um, let's do the deep well. Let's get it deep. And so now I'm going to jump the speed up to things as we are here in August. It's 29 Celsius now. Still, that's pretty warm. Um, so I probably am going to I'm going to put that in Fahrenheit for you. So there's 86. So back to Celsius. The reason I keep it in Celsius is I've spent a lot of time growing. Well, not necessarily growing up, but growing up, yes, but living also in places where Celsius is kind of the standard. And so, not that I'm saying in some way, with the smug superior, it's like that we do it in Celsius. That's just something I'm more associated with. It's not that if I see Fahrenheit, I'm confused. Just Celsius is something I'm just more common with. Ooh, world tax increase. The crown has endeavors all around the globe, and it is the duty of each subject to help make that happen. From now onward, the king is raising taxes on certain goods. So we have two options. Absolutely. Send the king our wholehearted approval. Peach trade fee increased to 19%. And that. I don't think so. We're struggling as it is. So here's the thing about these things. Sometimes these don't matter, right? Necessarily. For example, peach trade fee is increased to 19%. We don't grow peaches. I don't know if we even could. I haven't even placed an orchard yet. So this won't affect us except for loyalty. We don't have any merchants or gentry, so you want to go with the first one to get so your peasants and laborers, which we have plenty of, will get the first one. But later on, sometimes the consequences and the loyalty things will become very important. So we're going to go with this one, and because everyone is already pretty loyal and supportive, but never hurts to have a little bit more. And so, and the peach trading fee won't affect us. We're not trading anything right now, not even peaches. So just gonna speed up the time here a little and get things just moving along real quick, and see if we can get these numbers up. So no herbs. I'm well aware of that game. Thank you. Um, we could build docks. We could build a herbalist. We could man the forest. Or the problem is we just don't have the people to do it. We haven't even filled up the mine yet, and so one might say, oh, well, like maybe you should research. I could research the clothes shop. But we can't build the clothes shop, and the small park you need herbs, and we don't have a herbalist because even if we had one, we couldn't man it. So and the herbalist is something you want to build probably near the forester once you get them planting things, because that's when the soil and things are is tilled up and turned over and such, and that's when herbs are really useful. Um, and that's a throwback, and that's probably a relation back to the influence that Banish had on this game. That herbalists, and gatherers near a forester really do well. This gatherer's efficiency is already sky high, but it's probably going to go up just even more. But we need people, without a doubt, and usually you get people the March or April thing. But seeing as that was only year two, or like the first year, I can see how you may not, the first year of village thriving, I can see how we might not have people come, because it had nothing to do with the fact that we don't have houses. We have 5 houses that are empty right now, so we have plenty of room and plenty of jobs too. And that was something I actually noticed. I was talking to some people, some other players, and they said I have tons of houses and resources, and I'm not doing anything. And somebody mentioned, do you have jobs that need to be filled in your town? You know, just offhand, and I thought, yeah. And he said, well, he goes, I mean, I could expand things. He goes, but I don't have any empty buildings. And somebody said, you need to have jobs available, because people are not going to come to your town just to live there. They also, because they're the reason, because you're asking them to pick up and leave where they're from or where they're living then, so they need to have a prospect of a job, so to speak. So it is good to have jobs. In fact, I think I'm going to build a toolsmith and get that, well, get that just built right now, um, and such. So let's get the toolsmith built. There we go. Um, and so you see, we have the iron mine. There's the coal mine. And the reason I haven't built the coal mine, for jobs, is because when you have miners, when you assign miners, um, there's something to be said about. Let's do that, and let's do that. So, anyways, yeah. So when you have miners, miners and coal miners and iron miners are the same thing. On the job here, there's an iron miner or coal maker. So you have this. So that will go up to 4. So if you have 2 miners, the game will automatically split them in between. And we have another person who just grew up. So we're going to put one person into the forestry. So we have one forester here to plant things. Because we need to get things like the forester and other things working now to get things prepared. If it's a great idea to put the herbalist down, and have them do things. But the fact that, my lord, the king advisors sent a list of requests. No official reasons been noted, only a list. They're bleeding us dry. We can't go against the king. Lose 21 iron. What's our loyalty rate? Okay. Yeah, let's say no on that one. We actually need what we have, and we have enough loyalty to play around with at 97. So, um, and why could I afford giving them 21 iron? I could, but I may need it. Um, so there's that to think about. Uh, so not to mention some of the research requires it. So, like the clothes shop. So, anyways, let's see if we can find the herbalist hut right there. So the herbalist hut will go right here. So you see 8 children now. We had 7. So somebody's been born. and that's good. But we're aiming right now for what happens at the end of this winter. So, gosh, it keeps complaining about no herbs. Yeah, we'll get to it. So, and you see trees starting to appear as the forester is working away. So, I'm actually going to place the herbalist hut down. It's good to have all these things just ready to rock and roll the minute that you have time. So, let's see here. There. Oh, another child born. 13 people. Um, trying to think how to work this. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put them in the herbalist work, and the child was born, and the reason being that the reason being that we need herbs. I mean, yeah, it does have something to do with that thing screaming at me, but it's just a need as well. So let's go in here and hire a herbalist. So the herbalist can start getting herbs now, and those are the herbs. Yeah. So it's -1 Celsius. Woo. And we're running out of youths because we have 10 children, which is great, which means we're going to have more youths. But, uh, yeah. Let's take a look at decrees that we can have. Um, yeah. Those are things that you probably want to use when you have a. Okay, so we got 15 people. Okay, so we got workers now, which is great. Um, so let's do that. And let's do a toolsmith. Well, actually, hold on a second. Let's wait on the toolsmith. What does the toolsmith need to make tools? Um, yeah, the toolsmith needs coal. So let's build the coal mine, and we'll slot somebody into mining. And the toolsmith will wait for we'll have to wait for now. No herbs. Well, that we'll get to that. Okay. There will be herbs at some point. So you see April here, and you saw that jump up without that going down, and it actually went up. So that's what I'm talking about. People coming um, to your village. Let's get all the miners popped up here. So um, there. So now we're getting coal um, out of that, and so yeah, this is just the type of thing that you get going. With people being born, and look at that. There's the ship again. I'm not sure what that ship is all about. We don't have a dock. I don't know if it's just going around. I know there's a shipwreck at some point in some of the playthroughs I've done. So I wonder if that's the thing. Um, if that's one of I'm gonna turn some of the stuff down here. Give me a second here. You're looking at you can see my settings now. Actually, let's turn the music down here. Okay. So yeah. Sorry for showing you that, guys, the ugly options menu, but well, actually, it's not too bad looking. Just something I need to switch from time to time. But anyways, so here we are, and we got the coal mine now, and we got things up and running because we had people, and you see how critical it is when people just show up at your town. So now this one's got residents in it, 2 out of 6. Let's see if any of the other ones have it. Doesn't look like it, so it just looks like one has 2 residents in it. So we got Lawrence and Helen, and I'm guessing they're married. Um, Same job, same class, similar age. Makes sense. This is where you start having families, you see. Although 8 years old, so 16 and 17 respectively. Wow. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that Herman, my lord the king, advisor, since this list requests no official reason, only a list. Coal and coins. Gosh. Um, let's do it. We said no last time. So, anyways, um, like I was saying here, I'm going to go on a limb and say that Herman and Meryl are not Helene's kids, considering that she would have been 6 and 7. The other ones, though, possible. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I'm going to say that Mari was not Alice's child. Um, yeah, okay, well, okay. Yeah. Some interesting families. Anyways, of course, they all just could be related as people. So you see that, and that went up. So we now got five youths and 10 children and only 9 children. So that's good that the kids are growing up. Some of the biggest problems you can face in city builders, like Patron and Banished and things like that, um, are are the prospect of things such as like uh, your kids not making it to youth or adulthood because you don't have required resources. But you look at how much food and how much firewood we have, we're doing pretty well actually. And actually, what we're running low on now is lumber. So let's get some more lumber ordered up, so to speak. Um, there we go. The toolsmith will be the next thing that we will put a job into. Um, as you can see, we do have needs for the miner, but the mining is pretty much handled at this point, so to speak, in who's working where. And both mines are being manned right now. And the upkeep of this is one that requires coal and iron and wood, and we have all those things. So um, coming in, and the iron is going swimmingly well, um, and the coal is going pretty well too. So tool and tools, we are down to 20 tools, and why that's okay and that's fine and that's a healthy, I guess, number. More and more things that we build are going to require tools, and then just the workers in general use tools too. So how much? How much? Man, the sawmill is being very efficient. What's your limit? Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense then. So yeah, we got herbs, lots of herbs. So just that's just a thing to think about. Well, 150%, yeah, 157%. You know, so yeah, so that's just something to think about. We're going to need tools before long, and with how well the iron and coal is doing, we can step away. If I was barely making any iron or coal because we didn't have enough workers, or we had a bunch of buildings that were sucking, that were pulling on it, then then I could say, yeah, okay, like I understand, like why this isn't working, like we need to do this and that. But gosh, the forest is back. Um, but that's not the case right now. So um, actually, let's give them some work. Let's chop some of these trees down and give the forester some work behind there to do. Actually, now I thought about it, that's probably a bad idea. It's probably killing the efficiency of this gatherer shelter. Well, it'll come back. Didn't look like it affects them at all. Yeah. Anyways, the point I was making before I got lost track is if we had a bunch of buildings pouring, sucking resources away from that were taking coal, and we couldn't afford a toolsmith, then I would hold off. The king has sent us over a ship full of goods for our fair city. He is clearly pleased with us. Most excellent. Please notify the king that we accept the gift. Oh, herbs. We have a bunch of herbs now. That's nice. So here we are in October, and the children number has gone back up to double digits. So people are having babies, so to speak, which is good. Um, which is really good. Oh my goodness gracious. Wait, it's this one, yeah. Which is good. It's good that people are having children, and such. And I think a lot of the reason that they're having the children has to do with just how well our little village is doing. So, um, one can say that I think we have, because you have to have a village that's in a good place in order to foster, um, the population growing and people, having families. So we are going to wait a minute. Let's put that house there, and then let's put this house here. So there we go. Two more houses. You always want to keep ahead of the curve. And here we are. So I'm gonna get some research going because because we need to keep moving along. So I'm not gonna go with the production building because that's just crazy. So we're gonna go with the small park, although we don't have enough lumber. So give me a minute here. It's like yes, it's like that's a good idea to go along. It's like you're gonna get the required lumber. So let's chop down those trees, and let's chop down that tree and some of these trees. And though two of those trees. So there we go. We got plenty of lumber now. So jump in here before it runs out and jump on the small park research. So the park is so correction. I said not another building. The park is a building. I'm talking about a building that requires workers. Okay, the Kings. No. Okay, so another one. Um, they want lumber and iron. Well, we're kind of short on lumber, and that's a lot of iron. So we're gonna say no this time because we need the what? Because we need the lumber for one thing, and the other thing is that's a lot of iron. And why we could we afford that much iron? Yes. Do I want to? Not really. Um, yeah, that you don't necessarily want to flex. Like oh yeah, lumber's not a problem. It's like really, how much do you have? It's like oops. So, anyways, I'm gonna go with plant and cut on the forester here because he's planted quite well, and he's been planting only. So let's have him do both. And we'll jump, and we're flying through speed here. Let me do a shameless quick save. Um, and so we're flying through winter here. We're in February, where it's freezing. Um, and there's the 32. So uh, just you might knowing. And I'm hoping that when this new year rolls around, we'll have enough people to max out the mining, get the toolsmith going, and we'll have other jobs, and then we'll focus on getting other jobs available, so that way, when we're looking for people to come, when we're hoping people will come and join the town, we'll have jobs. There'll be a job available for them, so they'll be like, oh yeah, I can go there because they have something for me. So, um, And a quarry is a great way to do that. So, um, but a quarry is different than a mine. It requires different workers. And so let's see where I can put the quarry. So you can put it right there, and that's 51% efficiency. And while that's not necessarily great, my question is how efficient do we need it to be? And I can get up to 68% actually now that I've noticed this. Huh. Yeah, I'm going to throw it down. Why not? Huh. Trying to figure out why it won't let me build that. Oh, this. You know what? Let's get rid of that. And now let's build the quarry. But let's pause the quarry for now. Um, so while it could be built because it's got the lumber, let's hold off on it for right now. Because we didn't have anybody show up, which is worrisome, to say the least. And speaking of stone, so anyways, let's see what your reach is. So it's a pretty good reach. So let's cut down some of these trees right here, and let's keep you on planting. No, let's actually have you plant and cut. Yeah. Now somebody told me that the plant and cut thing, that's something that you should do. So yeah, somebody said your whole plant and cut thing. Expansion of our city has unearthed an abandoned native village and a graveyard, seems, or some spiritual site. The news has spread fast, and it seems both the church and the king are interested. The king, however, wants it all, while the church hopes to share the loot. So I don't want any of it. If the king wants it, he can send his people to collect. Uh, okay. Half sounds fair. Let the church know we agree, even for our own people might get superstitious. Huh. Let's do that. Um, yeah, safety is a concern. So are luxury goods. Um, hmm. Yeah, that's the clothes shop would be something that would do luxury. Along with pottery and carpenter stuff. So, so those are two things to think about as well. And the way you improve safety is pretty straightforward. You build a watchtower and ensure safety within this radius. So you put it probably near all the houses and such. And that's something to also think about doing as well, along with luxury goods. So as you can see, things become very, very, shall we say, fast moving, so to speak, in the game, and things can become very, very hard And things can become very, very interesting as well as you try and get things to move along. And especially this is where it comes into the fact that you need people to join your village and to grow up so that you can assign them jobs, because as much as you might be doing well, that carrier number can inch higher, and then you got these down there too that are asking for attention. And then you want to build your quarry, but you don't have anybody to run it. But you need people for your safety, for your luxury goods, and things like that. Which is why on the research you hold off a little bit. But I think I can get the marble quarry researched, because the marble quarry is actually something that you get. It's a productions. Let's see where it is here. It's actually pretty far away. There it is, right there. Produces cycloid marble efficiently seepins that were riches in the ground. So the marble quarry is actually available rather quickly, which I find interesting. Let's get the small statue. Um, so in beautification, yeah, the small statue is the next tier up, which makes sense considering that you just researched marble, as you can see. It relates to, and then it relates to all these things. So the carpenter's hut and the clothes shop are the next two things. You need more lumber for that, and that's not necessarily a problem. Um, uh, so to speak, we can get lumber. So let's get lumber. I'm going to have the forester go back to planting, because we're doing a pretty good job cutting without him. So, helping. So, we'll cut that. Cut right there. So, and trees themselves do grow back naturally, actually, when you don't handle them. Anyways, we're heading into year 5 here, and it's September. Um, anyway, so I'm gonna leave it here. Um, as I mentioned to all of you, Merry Christmas to all of you as we are in this holiday season. So, I hope you're all enjoying the holidays as much as it is. Um, but I'll be back. I'll be back to you before long. What? Ooh, I'll go into this first, my lord. Some of our more superstitious brothers and sisters are looking at the passing solar eclipse as a bad omen. They're starting to increase some ruckus in the streets. It doesn't look like they plan to leave for their homes anytime soon. So one, give the preachers a small incentive to go there and disperse such unfounded beliefs. Keep the garrison in the streets longer. We'll pay for any overtime, but peace must be kept. We're gonna do this. Um, Happiness is pretty high, and this will increase the safety that we're having issues with. So as you can see, safety is still a problem, but it was pretty bad beforehand. Anyways, not enough luxuries, I know. Anyways, so when we come back, we'll handle all this. But until next time, guys, this is well, actually, sorry. I'd like to ask you, please, do the cursor, please subscribe and like this video. And now, until next time, this is Wrestler signing off.